Hello, everybody. Welcome to my new trade recap of last week. That week was for me a minus 1.2% week for me personally. So I will go over my first trade I took. So the first one was Euro CHF. So on Euro CHF, what we saw, we were clearly in a bullish driver. We were making here this low, then this high, higher low, higher high. Everything between this high and low is just a correction for possible more upside momentum. So that's what I saw. We had then here also that weekly bullish candle close as our indication that the bulls are still present, that we can go more to the upside. The only pattern that maybe could play against us was the smaller bearish W against the driver. So we had still some space to go to this lower high from this bearish W. So we had that weekly bullish candle. So I can look for the daily now. So on the daily, what I can see on the daily was this potential shoulder 1 had possible shoulder 2 here. We were already touching here this zone. This was an inverted and shoulders without a break because the wick came still, the wick from this candle here, from that candle here, this didn't broke this last lower high here. This was a lower high, lower low. So everything between that was just a correction, but we touched these previous highs. We had that weekly bullish candle, so I could look for a daily inversion and shoulders without a break. So we came back to the downside and we touched the daily lows. So there I had my daily zone drew. And yeah, I was looking there for a trade to take. So I went till the 4-hour. I just drew my 4-hour horizontal black line for the potential fake out here, where the price could go. So yeah, I'll just do it like this. Then I will go to the 4-hour. And what I saw on the 4-hour was the price touched. So we had a very impulsive move to the downside. And then the price touched our daily zone of interest. So from that point, I was counting. So this was our first here. So this was our first candle here. Then the second candle was this. So we had already a blue candle or a red candle. So 1, 2, then the third. When the third was closed, I was looking to take there a limit. So on this candle here, we had our third touch, this one, and then when this closed, I just put at the limit, and yeah, just 1 pip to the upside, I think, and then stop loss wide enough, and then I went to sleep because I was at the night shift. I went to sleep around 6 a.m. and then yeah, the price just made a very impulsive move to the upside and then came back immediately after that, and then it was a minus 1%. So the thing what I could do about that is to take partials at my 1% level, because this was for me then a minus 1% trade. This could be a break-even trade because I was at sleep. I was just going home from my work, so yeah, it was just fucked up really. But yeah, it's a lesson for me to maybe do next time. Take the 1% out my TP zone, so then I don't miss the break-even trade when I'm sleeping. So the second trade is GBPUSD. This was a good trade to take. If I go on the weekly, what you saw on the weekly, it was just a low potential trade also because we were bullish. We had this low, this was our high, this was our higher low, higher high. We have the same high, so we expect the same low. So we are bullish. So we had the same highs here in a bullish market. So we expect the same lows, which we did. And what we made there was also a weekly bearish candle. We had some kind of deceleration here already sitting, so we could go to the upside, but I took the short because I was sitting last weeks in just a few winning streaks, not that much, just break even, so I could take some more risks to take it. If I had a losing streak, I wouldn't take this because yeah, it was a more probability it would go to the upside to make the potential shoulder 1 here, head, shoulder 2, or go to the upside and then going to the downside. So this was a potential, yeah, more dangerous trade. I think we didn't touch it. Yeah, we just didn't touch the shoulder 1 region. So yeah, that's why I took it, and it went to the downside. So if I go to the daily, you can see we had a pattern within a pattern. We were bearish on the daily. We had this very impulsive move to the downside. We were bearish, already making here this bearish W, and then we had here the same here the same lows, so we expect also the same highs, but we had within that pattern another one, shoulder one here, head, shoulder two. I will always take the head and shoulders, even if we have a natural W or bearish W. The shoulder one zone is very powerful to take with here some support in the head, so it's very nice to take there. And the price went to the downside. I had my daily zone at this small bullish M here for possibly reversal signs, that we have some deceleration here or something, that I need to take some partials out. So it didn't do that. So I went till the 4 hour, my daily zone was hit. So I went till the 4 hour. And what I saw on the 4 hour was we had here first our decel that I missed. So we had our first candle. So here was the, if I will take this like this. So this was the first, then the second, the third, and then the fourth. So when the third was closed red, then it was a sign for me to take here on the fourth candle diesel box. I missed this trade. I was at work, so I didn't have that much time. I just needed to take it. So here I needed to be involved in. So it's a missed trade of that. But I had a chance after that to take a scale in. And this was the bearish W. So we had here that first leg, second leg, third leg, and then I took the trade on the lows of the IC here. When I woke up, I took the trade. It was around 11, 12, 13 o'clock. So then I took it. I was just awake, and then I took it on the lows of the IC, and then we went to the downside. I took here some 80% out of the trade because we hit the 4 hour minus 27, which was very close to the daily lows. So I took 80% out of it, and then I let it run to the beginning of correction, and there I took everything out. So this was 2.6% netto gain for me because I wanted to test the Bjorn profit locking method the first weeks. I will do it like that, the 4 hour TP 80% out first 2 weeks, and then I will see what I will do then with the profit locking method. So yeah. So then CHFJPY. So CHFJPY was a minus 1% loss for me on the weekly. What we saw on the weekly, we were bullish. We had that impulsive move to the upside. We could come back for that shoulder one, head, shoulder two with that resistance in the head, which could be very powerful. But we had still this weekly multiple bullish candle closes, this weekly very impulsive bullish candle close. So it was very nice to take a pattern to the upside for that buying setup. And if I go on the monthly, you can see we also touched this monthly lows here, this monthly higher lows. So then the bulls kicked in from that because we had still that monthly bullish M, this bigger bullish M to play potentially out. So this is already in play. So yeah, the weekly was bullish. I could look on the daily right now. So on the daily, what I saw was we had this bullish M. So we had our first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg. We came back to the daily higher low. And from there, I wanted to take a pattern. And we had there the 4 hour deceleration. So if I do it again, so you have here the first candle that touches the daily zone. Then you have the second one here. The third candle was a blue candle. And then we had the close here. That's not a problem. We can have one candle in between. And then I would take here the limit after that candle close, and yeah, the price came very aggressively to the downside, and then it went more to the downside. So it was a minus 1% loss. So just followed by the plan, no trading error or nothing. So yeah, just trade by the plan. So the next trade, GBPNZD. So if I go on the weekly, this was also a weekly more how I need to say that, a more lower potential trade because if I saw this, we were sitting between these highs here and these lows. So yeah, we were touching these weekly highs, and then we could go potentially more to the downside. So this was a weekly lower potential trade for me also, but I took it because I just a lot of weeks that that it was more quiet for me. It was just break even or some profits. So I was at a winning streak, so I could take these trades. So we had a weekly bullish candle close. We were already sitting here for a lot of weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10 weeks. So it was clear support. So this was our only resistance here, and we touched it. This resistance candles here. So we touched it. So it was a more dangerous trade. So I went to the daily because the weekly had a very impulsive bullish candle close. So on the daily, what you saw was we had here that bullish M here. So we had that bullish M here, and we touched the daily IC. So from there, I wanted to look for a trade from that touch of the daily zone, and we had the ascending trend line on the daily holding the price up. So I went till the 4-hour, and on the 4-hour, what I saw was this ascending trend line, very nice, holding the price up, and we had that inverse head and shoulders with break. So we had our shoulder 1 here, this head, shoulder 2, and then we could go to the upside. So at this trade, we had already a touch of the shoulder 1 zone, but my trade wasn't active back then, and we went to the upside, and then we came back. So I just let the trade run to come back for more to the downside, and then the trade was triggered, but we went more to the downside. My stop loss, I always try to do a stop loss wide enough to have this under this wick of the head or under the wick of the shoulder 1, but now it was under the head because we had a very tight stop loss of around 33 pips. So I found this was enough for me. But yeah, the trade was minus 1%, and yeah, just the trade followed by the plan. So yeah, I hope you had a nice weekend also. And this was my trade recap. So I will see you next week. Bye, guys.